Please be seated. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration of the DATC, I welcome you to this graduation ceremony. Our first speaker this evening offering opening remarks is Omar Bravo, who is an instructor in our digital media design program. Omar graduated from Santa Clara University with a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, and during his time at SCU, he spent 3 years working at IBM as a software engineer. He served as president of Nu Alpha Kappa, a non-traditional Latino fraternity, and was involved both on and off-campus community service organizations. Immediately after graduation, Omar accepted a position with Texas Instruments in their technical sales training program and relocated to Dallas, Texas. After completing his 18-month training program in Dallas, he was deployed to the TI Field Sales Office in St. Petersburg, where he served as the distribution business manager for the Florida territory, responsible for $45 million a year in revenue. On January 1st, 2008, after 6 years with the company, Omar resigned to explore different career paths. For the next 26 months, Omar volunteered as an international missionary in India, Malaysia, Costa Rica, Guatemala, and Mexico. He and his wife served as adjunct pottery instructors on a Princess cruise line while sailing through the waters of the Caribbean, Panama Canal, and Alaska's Inside Passage. And he co-founded and facilitated a young professionals community ministry at his local church. He also founded Bravo de la Paz, a digital marketing and web development firm. In January of 2010, Omar returned to Tampa Bay and began teaching as a web development instructor at the Pinellas Technical Education Center in Clearwater, Florida. And he relocated to Layton, Utah, his hometown, in February of 2014 to serve as the digital media design instructor at the DATC. Ladies and gentlemen, Omar Bravo.
Thank you. Today is a very, very good day. Not just because you've completed all of your projects, labs, clinicals, and exams, but more so because the time has come to celebrate, appreciate, and innovate. For some of you on the younger side of life, the past year or two has been your first legitimate experience within adulthood, where you've grown and matured into responsible and productive young men and women. For others of you, these past couple of years have served as a fresh start, where you've ventured into new career paths and have been reinvigorated with your passion for both work and life. Over the past couple of years, in addition to your schoolwork, many of you have had to balance a part-time job or even a full-time job, along with family responsibilities and friends. And at times, I'm sure it was all a bit overwhelming. At times, I imagine you even contemplated quitting, whether it was because the coursework was too hard or your life outside of school was just too much to handle. I'm sure that at some point, you thought about giving up, but you didn't. Rather than giving up and waving the white flag of surrender, you chose to dig deep, to press forward and to persevere. Rather than succumb to the obstacles and hardships that you faced, you chose to overcome them. And rather than simply accept whatever fate came your way, you chose to work towards a life that you wanted to live. And that, my friends, is why we are all gathered here today, to celebrate you and to celebrate your accomplishments, to celebrate the sacrifices you've made and to celebrate the rewards that now await you in the future. But most importantly, we're here to celebrate the life change that has taken place. For those of you who don't know, the motto of the DATC is, "We change lives." This motto, though just 3 short words, is powerful beyond belief. For the life change that happens doesn't only involve the student. Yes, our graduates will likely benefit from high-paying careers doing a job that they love, but this benefit reaches farther than the individual. Because when you love your job, and my wife can attest to this, you come home from work happy, so your spouse's life and your children's life are also changed for the better. And when you're gainfully employed, you can pay your taxes and spend money in the marketplace, thus contributing to the economy. And when you have real-world skills that are in high demand, you advance our society forward, and you pave the way for those who come after you. But as wonderful and empowering as this life change is, it's actually the first word in the motto, "We change lives," that truly leaves me awe-inspired. For the we and we change lives isn't referring just to the faculty who spend countless hours developing curriculum and who have seamlessly endless patience when it comes to working through issues. The we in We Change Lives doesn't just include the wonderful administration, support staff, and maintenance staff here at the DATC. This we also includes all of our employers who advise our programs and who hire our students, our community partners who consistently support our school, as well as the taxpayers who fund this institution. But it doesn't stop here. At the heart of the We and We Change Lives are the students and their willingness to learn, be molded, try new things, and to risk failure. And last but definitely not least, perhaps the most important part of the We in We Change Lives is made up of by our wonderful friends and families, grandparents and parents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, spouses and children, who support us mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Without these loved ones behind us and at our sides, we just wouldn't be the same. So, just as I encourage you to celebrate with great passion, I also encourage you to appreciate with great passion all of the many people who have contributed to your journey. As you embark on this next phase of this adventure, be sure to maintain both a long and wide view of the future. There are complex issues that our world is currently facing, and that you now possess the skills necessary to tackle many of these issues head on. As such, you now possess great power, and as we all know, with great power comes great responsibility. In this case, I believe this responsibility is a responsibility to innovate. Be creative in your approach, challenge the status quo, and don't be afraid to take the road less traveled. We don't yet have the solution to all the problems in our world, but it is with your innovation that will bring us closer than we have ever been. In summary, I would like to congratulate you on your accomplishments and remind you that though today is, in fact, a very, very good day, tomorrow and the next day will always be better and brighter so long as we continue to celebrate, appreciate, and innovate. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. Again, for those of you who have perhaps come late, we do have overflow room in the boardroom. There is a video feed in there so that you can continue to observe the ceremony. Our next speaker is Kevin Hanley. Kevin Hanley is the owner and consultant of LSR Consulting, and I read through about the first 15 pages of his resume and accomplishments before I got tired and gave up. He is a remarkably accomplished individual, and we are fortunate to have him here today. He has over 30 years' experience in managing manufacturing operations within highly regulated FDA environments. Throughout his career, his primary skills and strengths are in high-volume, lights-out, disposable injection molding with liquid silicone rubber, thermoplastics, and high-speed automation technology. And if all that sounds foreign to you, have we got a new training program for you, because we're going to start an injection molding program here very soon. Kevin's hands-on experience in engineering, automation, and manufacturing make him ideally suited for all areas of design qualification, process validation, and starting up new manufacturing facilities. And he is one of the people who is helping us start our new program. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Hanley.
Thank you, Kevin. Good evening. I'm not used to doing this, so bear with me. I don't have it, I can't read it to you because I didn't write it down that much, so I have some bullet points, but bear with me. Well, first I want to congratulate all of you on graduation here. It's wonderful, and you've persevered, and that's admirable. And I just want to acknowledge that your technical training is going to carry you to open doors that you never would have had before, like it did in my career. So I'm excited for you, and I hope the best for you as you venture out into your new careers. This foundation that you've established right now is something that you should build on. You know, more education and more training, and just pursue things that you never would have thought you could do. That's my recommendation to this graduation class here. The administration asked me to tell you about my career in my technical field, with the hopes that it will inspire you to do similarly. So with that, I'm going to just share my experience. I'm 60 years old, and like Kevin said, I'm the owner of LSR Consulting. which I'm quickly fading out of. I'm just enjoying skiing and ATVing and camping and that kind of thing. So I still work, but it's just part-time. I was able to retire early in 2009 from ICU Medical as the Vice President of Manufacturing and Engineering. That's a company that's down in Salt Lake City, Utah here. And so how did I start? I started in the Bronx, in New York City. And you hear it when I say New York, right? But I grew up there. I was there 19 years. And then I got a car and I drove away. I went out west. I headed for Colorado. I couldn't wait to get away from the projects and the whole lifestyle of New York City. And I went west. And that was in 1974. I had no education other than high school. My parents were pretty poor, so I didn't have that opportunity to do that. When I moved to Colorado, I met my wife in 1976, and so then I needed to get a job. So I talked to my future mother-in-law, and she said there was a company called Teledyne Water Pick in Fort Collins, Colorado, and there was a manufacturing plant. So I thought, sounds good, fine, whatever, you know. Had no idea. And I got in, started working on an assembly line, you know, where you basically have one conveyor and all the parts are coming down, and you grab one part off the line, you put it onto your assembly, and you put the whole thing back on the line. And then about every hour, you would shift positions, and you'd go all around the perimeter of this conveyor. And at the end of 2 days, I'd done everything that there was to do. And so I told God, I said, God, this isn't going to work. Yeah. I mean, I was bored stiff, and I gave God 1 week to get me off that line or I was going to quit. And truly, that's a true story. And the next day, they had in-house job bids, and the next day there was a bid came on the board, and it said, material handler for injection molding. I had no idea what injection molding was, but I knew it was a technical field. And I thought, well, sounds good, I'll apply. So the next day after that, I applied. The next day after that, I got an interview. And the final day after that, they offered me the position. So I honored my prayer to God, and I stayed. And that was the beginning of a fantastic career. I started with material handling and learning all the different plastics and learning how to dry the materials, and worked at that for about 2 years. And then most of you don't know injection molding, but they basically hang a big mold in a machine, and they heat up the plastic and they inject it into the tool. So after 2 years of material handling, I started as a setup man, where that's the guy that hangs these molds in the presses and all the ancillary equipment with it. And during this time, they had an apprenticeship program, so I was learning on the side all the future positions that I wanted to attain to. Like a process technologist, and so I did a setup man job for 2 more years at Teledyne, and then they offered me a position as a process technician, and so I got trained again for about a year with the man there, and had fantastic experience, and then they made me a process technologist on the weekend crew. So I'd worked there for about 7 or 8 years, and then this was in the early 80s, and the economy started going down. And they cut my hours and everybody else in the company to about 32 hours a week. And by then I had 3 kids and couldn't live on that salary. So started going out doing manpower work 1 day a week. And somebody told me about a setup position in another injection molding company at Alpine Plastics in Fort Collins. So I worked 1 day a week there and stayed at Teledyne for a while. But then they really liked me at Alpine, and they offered me a position as a supervisor. And they had German mold makers there. I don't know where Peggy is right now. Where's Peggy? But anyway, Peggy's husband was a mold maker, and they trained me. Back in those days, these guys knew everything. They could build molds. They could design products. They could design parts. They could process the materials. They could maintain the machinery. These guys were just wizards at plastics processing, and primarily we were all from Germany. And this gentleman took me under his wing and trained me in process engineering and tooling and mold making. And so I worked there for a period of time. And then my wife and I had our 4th child, and we were getting tired of the cold weather. My wife was actually from Laguna Beach, California. So we decided to see if we could get a job there, and I put my resume out to a recruiter and got moved to Orange County, California in 1984, working as a process engineer for Simco. It was a custom injection molding company. And again, it was more training, more opportunity, and more apprenticeship programs. And so I learned a lot about starting up new molds, doing the engineering on them, getting them production ready, qualifications, validations, and got tremendous training there with process engineering. At that time, about 2 years later, a company named McGaw, it was a pharmaceutical company, Irvine, California, heard about my technical experience. Now this, you got to keep in mind, this is a guy from the Bronx that has no education. It was just training. It was just people giving me an opportunity to learn and me taking advantage of it. But by this time, I had a reputation as a strong process engineer, and McGaw had all degreed people, all people from Lowell University, which is a great plastics school, and they had lots of engineers and lots of people there that were engineers, but they didn't have hands-on experience. And so they couldn't make the product properly. They were having all kinds of technical problems. So they hired me to come in and to teach the people hands-on how to troubleshoot and how to process and how to solve problems. And but when they hired me, they said, you know, because you don't have a college education, and this is a point I really want you to pay attention to, they said, you will never be hired, you will never be promoted beyond the position that you're coming in at. And I said, okay, that's fine. They offered me a lot more money, so I decided to accept the position. But in the meantime, I knew that if God wanted me to have a promotion, I was going to get a promotion. And the wonderful thing is, 2 years later, the guy that told me I would never be promoted, I had his job. And he was gone. And I say that not to boast at all, but just to say that I mean, it's great if you have a college education, but not everybody has that opportunity, and that's not necessarily going to stop you. If you, and that's what I say to all you young people tonight, the path is open before you right now. You can do whatever you want to do. You have talents, you have gifts, you have ability, and it's a matter of pursuing it, not being afraid just because it's above what you've ever done, and that maybe it's outside your comfort zone. But I really want to encourage you tonight that you can do it. You know, you have skills, you have talent. It's obvious you've come this far. You've graduated this program, and it's not the end. This is the beginning. So I just really just want to leave you guys tonight with that admonition that, you know, don't let anything get in your way. You know, I firmly believe God gives us what we want. And we need to go after it. We need to use the talents we have to get there. And He'll open the doors too. He'll take care of you as you persevere. I mean, I look at after McGaw, I wound up promoting 4 or 5 times where I was the director of plastics for the whole corporation, and then I had hundreds of people working for me, and then I was not doing my hands-on work anymore. I got very dissatisfied with that, and then a doctor came to me, and he said, I've invented this product. It's called the Clave. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it goes on the end of an IV, and it's a needleless connector. And he heard about my background with manufacturing and assembly and tooling and molding. And by this time, I had enough experience where I could start a company for this gentleman who invented this product. And that was in San Clemente, California in 1994. And today, it's about a $300 million company. They make 400 million of these little valves per year, right there in Taylorsville, Utah. I came out, and actually in 2005, we bought Abbott Labs. Some of you may have known Abbott Labs. And our company bought Abbott Labs. It was a critical care device manufacturing plant. And I came out when we bought that so that I could shut the plant down and move it back to California. I told them I would do that, but then I was preparing to retire. And so I said, I'll get it all done, and then I'm going to stay in Utah and possibly go back to Colorado. But then I wound up shutting down the California plant and moving it to Utah and set up the whole thing here, along with another plant from Connecticut. So you know, I just say I wound up being vice president of manufacturing engineering, and I only have a high school education. you know. And again, I don't say that in boast. I say that in humility. I know God definitely helped me, but I also did my part, you know. I'm going to end with this. In conclusion, God gets the glory, and we have our part. Always learn new things. Don't shy away from things that you don't understand. Embrace it and learn it and pursue it and continually grow. The minute you stop growing is when you start dying. So don't give up on learning. Learning is a privilege, it's an honor, and it's a gift. And the more you learn, the more you will prosper. Don't be afraid of failure. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. I mean, throughout my career, it sounded great, right? There's probably 2 instances where I almost got fired for different reasons in my career. Really went through struggles. I mean, I can remember literally coming home sometimes at night. Some of the people that I worked for were so mean, so harsh, and you know, just really make you want to cry, you know? And that's my last point, is don't quit. Don't quit. That's the best advice. That's the one thing I think that I did right in my whole career, is I never quit a job. There were plenty of times I wanted to quit, but I had a wife, I had my kids at home, and I knew that quitting is not the answer. You know, there were times where I did get fed up and I went and found another job and then I quit. You know, that's okay. You can do that. That's acceptable. But don't quit, and especially don't quit and stay. In my years in the industry, I saw many people that quit and stayed. They didn't leave the company, but they quit. And I just really want to exhort all of you as you're, you know, branching out into your new careers and your new lives. Don't be a quitter. Be a learner, and be someone that has tenacity and has perseverance, and believe in yourself and the gifts that you have, and you will prosper. God bless you all.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for sharing your inspiring story with all of us. Our next speaker, offering remarks on behalf of the students, is Corey Coleman. Corey is a student and graduate of our information technology program. He's as I said, a student, a husband, and a father of 18-month-old Chase. He enjoys playing guitar, watching movies, photography, spending time with his family and friends, and learning all there is to know about computers. He also enjoys camping, four-wheeling, driving his car, meeting new people, and listening to music. He's always had a great sense of humor, and he's one to make people laugh and smile. And what brought Corey to the DATC was the desire to learn more and to expand his education. Once he knew that he wanted to get into computers, he knew that the DATC had the IT program for him. And he knew it was where he could get a kickstart that he needed to get in order to continue growing, furthering his knowledge, and to get him ready for his future. His plan is to become a network administrator. Corey says he's always been fascinated by computers and how they work, how the internet works, and how to keep things secure within networks, and how to troubleshoot everything when it goes wrong. And most importantly, he says IT is a field where he feels he can help others and see his accomplishments affect those people in a great way. Ladies and gentlemen, Corey Coleman.
Well, I like moments like these. It definitely makes me realize that my heart still works. So I just want to say good evening to you all. This is truly an honor and a privilege to talk to you tonight. We are here at graduation, but I want you to think in your minds, how did we start? Where did we all come from? I think with each and every one of us, individually that varies of where we started. But we all have one thing in common, and that commonality is courage. We had the courage to take that first step into getting ready for our future. For myself, I was unsure of what I wanted to do, where I wanted my life to go. I had no idea what I wanted to be. Everybody always asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. And in my mind, I didn't really ever want to grow up, but we all need to at that point. I just knew that I needed a higher education, and I wanted a higher education. I had a lot of family and friends and even people that were around me that I knew that were either in the middle of their education or they were almost finished. And I felt left behind. I felt afraid. I felt alone. And I was feeling like one of the most important things in my life was passing by me, and I wouldn't be able to grab a hold of that. But once I figured out what direction that I wanted to go, I knew that I needed to do something. And once I decided to put that fear aside, I decided to come here to the DATC. I had heard so many great things, and a lot of people that I had conversations with had a lot of great things to say. And somehow I knew that it would give me the start that I needed. But little did I know that it did that and so much more for me. The DATC has provided an environment which encourages discipline, preparation, time management, accountability, and most importantly, confidence in oneself. And opening up the greatness that we all have inside of us that I think a lot of us tend to forget. But of course, we didn't do this alone. We had the help, the love and support of our family members, our friends, and here at the DATC, our instructors, the help and encouragement that they gave us. I think it's safe to say that we have recognized that we cannot have done this without all those who have shown that support and love, that we would not be here tonight, and we would not have succeeded. So today, I feel safe in saying, on behalf of all of the students, that we are thankful for each and every one of you that have helped us get here to where we are today. After tonight, we are going to go somewhere. But are we going to take the path that others have chosen, that others have gone through? Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." And tonight it is my sincere hope and wish that as we set out on this new journey, that we will remember to leave greatness in our trails, put aside our fears, and show this world that we have the courage to give our best, and only our best, because we are the best. For we are DATC's graduating class of 2014. Thank you, and good luck out there.
My name is James Larson. I'm the Director of Marketing here up at the college. Part of my responsibilities is the pleasure of bringing some of you students into the school, but my greatest pleasure is having the opportunity to interview some of you students and to be able to tell your story to future students as well as the media. So today I've got two students that are here today. I'm going to call on each of them, and if they could come up, I'd love to share their story. So first we're going to start off with Jenny Parkin. So Jenny, come up here and come by my side. So Jenny Parkin loved math and science at Bountiful High School. After graduating, she worked as a telemarketer, cashier, and administrative assistant. She married her husband, a DATC journeyman electrician, and began raising her 4 children. A couple of years ago, Jenny and her husband decided to get a divorce, and as a single mother, Jenny decided to pursue a career as a CNA at Danesville Services. She works in home hospice from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., attends a medical billing and coding program from 12 to 3 p.m., and works as a DATC ambassador from 3 to 5 every day to pay for college. The remaining college costs are paid through a golf tournament scholarship. When she graduates, she hopes to work as a stay-at-home biller and coder for AviaCode when she graduates. Round of applause. Next person is Justin Martinez. Come on up here, Justin. He's got a long history. So Justin grew up in Okinawa, Japan, on the Kadena Air Base. After 15 parents, his parents moved to Hill Air Force Base where he attended Northridge High School. Following high school, Justin pursued his passion of audio and video production at Weber State University. After 2 years, he decided to take a break from school and experience life in Salt Lake City while working at the Sheraton Hotel and Acme Burger. After a while, he felt his life was going nowhere, so he applied for a vocational rehabilitation grant, Pell Grant, and DATC scholarship to pursue an artistic career in advanced esthetician. Since his tenure at DATC, he has been awarded the National Technical Honor Society student from DATC and Volunteer of the Year award from Davis Head Start. Justin will graduate today, of course, and plans to work with a plastic surgeon. Later on, he plans to complete his registered nursing at DATC to further his aesthetics career. Round of applause. Thanks, everybody.
It is my great privilege now to present to you the graduates. Before we start bringing them up, I want to make 2 quick points. Number one, if you look in the program, you'll see a lot more names than you see graduates in the seats. We're here to train people to get jobs, and the son of a gun, to get jobs, and they can't all get off to come to the ceremony. So even if they're not here today, they're with us in spirit. But we especially want to honor those who came. Also, those of you sitting behind the graduates may have noticed that some of them have a second tassel. They all have the red one. Some of them have the white one as well. That signifies that they are a member of the National Technical Honor Society. The NTHS recognizes students who have outstanding achievement as students in a technical or trade program. They're selected very carefully and recommended by their instructors, so that white tassel means something extra special. So if you see someone with that, congratulate them. All right, I'd like to invite our first row to come up here so that we can recognize them. I would like to invite our administration and guests to come over to congratulate the graduates. And graduating today from the Business Technology program, the instructors are Carrie Phillips, Mandy Hefner, Lori Wilcox, and Jolene Van Bibber. You already met her, Jenny Parkin. The next program that we will honor is the Information Technology program. These are, of course, the people who keep your computer working. These are the people you call when you can't get on the internet or when Facebook goes down or when you can't do your banking or whatever it is that you do. And the instructors are A.J. Hepler, Jay Brummett, Diana Gunnarsson, and graduating this evening, Carol Abraham. Devin Baggs. Corey Coleman. Casey Paul Ducharme. The next program that we will honor is Managing Bookkeeper. These are the folks who take care of the books for businesses. Very important, very detail-oriented work, so I'm glad to see they all look very, very sharp. The instructors are Carrie Phillips, Mandy Hefner, and Lori Wilcox, and graduating tonight, Shayna Swenson. One of the major areas of focus for our college is health careers, and we will be honoring graduates of the Dental Assisting Program. These are the folks who sit with your dentist and they pass instruments and they get things ready, and they're generally, in my experience, a little friendlier than the dentist, but don't tell my dentist that. And the instructors for that are Kathy Turnbow and Nicole Durr, and graduating tonight we have Allison Bright. Another of our health programs is Emergency Medical Technician Basic. These are the folks who come out when you call the ambulance and they take care of you. And no offense, I hope I never have to meet you professionally. The instructors are Jared Shawley and Aaron Byington. And graduating tonight, we have Gavin Miller. Sarah Abel. Another of our medical programs is the Medical Assistant Program. These are the folks that you see when you go to the doctor and they take you back and they take your blood pressure and ask you all those questions. The instructors are Dee Weaver and Lonita Ellis, and graduating tonight we have Dorinda Carey, Kimberly Gutterson, Patricia Sipedy, Kate Haven. After you visit the doctor, he may prescribe some medication, he or she may prescribe some medication for you, so you would end up talking to graduates of our pharmacy technician program. These are the folks who work behind the counter in the pharmacy with the pharmacists. The instructors are Gentry Phillips and Cameron Spendlove, and graduating tonight we have Deandra Baggs, Timmery Bernal, now, depending on what your doctor tells you, you may need surgery, which is where you're going to encounter our next group of graduates. These are graduates of the Surgical Technology Program. They're the people who get the operating room ready, they get the instruments ready, they make sure everything's as it should be, and then they actually get to assist with surgery. And the instructors for that are Pam Carter and Anita Flink. And graduating tonight, Demi Ibarra. Jeff Bouchard, Christopher Yarrington. After surgery, you may spend a little time in a hospital or a convalescent center, and that's where the nurse assistants come in. This is the entry point into healthcare careers for many, many people. It teaches them to assist with basic patient care. The instructors are Mindy Tulane, Lisa Trujillo, Joan Squire, Kim Miller, and Deborah Johnson, and graduating tonight, Charlene Cutler. Melissa Louise. Brenda Huntington. Brandy Huntington. It's okay, it's still valid if I mispronounce your name. Cheyenne Richard. Danielle Redford, Matthew Slack, Nephi Fuentes, Ashley Powell, let's see how long I can keep this up. If you're in a hospital, somebody had to do the blueprints. And that brings us to our next program, which is Architectural Engineering and Design. These are the people who work with architects to do all of the detailed work and draw the plans and so on. They also do plans for manufacturing, such as Kevin Hanley spoke about. And the instructors are Keith Carlson and Steve Finn. And graduating tonight, we have Milburn Kendall, all right, I got nothing for this one, so I'm just going to tell you about our automation technology program. These are the people who are trained to maintain large systems in buildings, factories, and so on. They keep the factories rolling, like Kevin Hanley talked about, the assembly line. These are the folks who fix them when they're broke down, and they fix the air conditioning and the electrical. It's a broad skill set, and it's taught by Stacy Hatch. Graduating tonight, Alex Vigil. Tyler Leckington. Sure, which was Stacy. Ryan McDaniel's the other instructor in that program. It wasn't on the cue card, and if it's not on the cue cards, it's not in my brain. The next program we'll learn is Composite Materials Technology. These are the folks who work with lightweight materials that go into airplanes and cars and boats and skateboards and all sorts of cool stuff. Really cutting edge. All the most modern aircraft are made of it. The instructors are Dave Sligar and Wes Hobbs. And graduating tonight we have Juan Zuniga, Ryan Johnson, Which brings us to the cosmetology program. Cosmetologists are the folks who make sure that you look nice. They take care of hair and skin and nails. And if you think it's an easy program, you need to look at the textbook because there's a lot of science in that book that you have to know. And they have worked very hard to be here tonight. Instructors representing tonight are Angela Tanner, Melinda Sutton, and Amber Jocks. And graduating with us tonight, Erica Murphy. Cameron Thompson. Brittany Lawrence. Closely associated with that and also deeply infused with science, the Master Esthetician program. The instructors for that are Angela Tanner and Tiffin McPherson, and graduating tonight, Justin Nick Martinez. Jessica Durier. Alicia Thompson. Jacinda Shu. Kiara Haycock. And her fan club, I hear. Sharon Marie Pace. Bailey Baines. As a representative of the college, I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I gotta tell you, I love the culinary arts program because the food they make is awesome. And in fact, in just a few minutes, you're going to get to sample some of what they have made. So tonight, the culinary arts program with the instructors Penny Moline and Christy Hettinger. Graduating with us tonight, we have Liliana Christiansen. Brian R. Perry. Now, all that food has to get here somehow, and most of it moves on big, heavy trucks. And if you're looking for a good career for a young man or young woman with some mechanical skills, look no farther than the diesel program. It is awesome. These are the folks who learn to keep the trucks rolling, and I'll tell you what, when the trucks stop, these are the most valuable people in the company. And the instructors are Neil Cheney and Tim Richard, and graduating tonight, Landon Howell, Ryan Lee, Philip Gavos Allred, Nicholas Clark, and Ryan McMillan. As I said, these are the representatives who can make it tonight, but as you look through the program, if you see something you're interested in, feel free to ask us about it. We would love to have you as one of our students. And as soon as our students have resumed their seats, I'm going to ask them to do the thing they have been waiting to do all day. I want them to reach up to the right-hand side of their face. There's that tassel that's been hanging there just bugging them for the last 45 minutes. Reach over, move it to the other side, and then give yourself a big cheer because you are graduates. I was listening to Kevin Handley, and I was reminded of an article I had recently come across in the Wall Street Journal about the need for skilled workers. And in fact, there was a piece that stood out to me, and I want to leave you with this thought this evening. Christian Kessler is the Vice President of Operations for Steel Inc. They make chainsaws and other cool toys in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And they have a program of apprenticeship much like Kevin described. And when he talks about this to American companies, and he talks about training workers, they say to him, well, what if I invest in people and they leave? And he always says, well, it would be worse if you didn't invest in them and they stayed their whole professional life with you. So ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with the thought that you have invested in yourselves, you have prepared yourselves for the future. Enjoy that, and enjoy some light refreshments on us. Congratulations.